So Robert, when somebody gets in trouble in the military, there are typically two types of things that can happen to them. They can face military justice action or an administrative action. What are some of the military justice actions that a soldier or other service member could face in the military?
So they could get an Article 15.
Non-judicial punishment?
Non-judicial punishment, correct. Or they could get a court-martial, either summary court-martial or a court-martial in front of a military judge.
Okay. And those would be general or a special court-martial?
That's correct.
Now, a service member can also choose to be tried in front of a panel of members, right?
That's correct. If they are an enlisted individual, they can get enlisted individuals of at least the same rank or higher that can be on their board. I think it's 1/3
on the panel.
On the
right.
panel. And in the civilian world, that's just like a jury. That panel is just like a jury.
Right. And when a soldier faces a court-martial, there are rules that protect them, the Manual for Courts-Martial and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Do those rules apply if you're facing a civilian court?
Those rules are unique to the military court system. They are, now there may be some similarities in the things that happen in civilian court as in military court, but they are unique to the military court system.
And I suppose that's a reason why a service member who's facing unique military charges should look for a unique military lawyer like the law office of William Helixon.
That's correct. If you're charged with a crime in the military, you should get a lawyer that has some experience in the military field. Because if not, there's a chance that they could go on the wrong path for you, and then you're facing significant consequences for that.
Got it. And so the other type of actions that a soldier or service member could face are these administrative actions. What are some of those administrative actions?
So if you were to commit a crime, not in the military, but in the civilian sector, it doesn't even have to be near your home. It could be, or where you're stationed at, it could be anywhere. You could be discharged from the military for that crime.
And so these discharges, you're talking about just a paper drill, right?
That's correct. You know that what's going to happen is you're going to have documents put together. You're going to be able to provide your explanation to that, but it's not like you're going to have a jury or a panel that's going to review those type of cases.
Right. And it'd just be the commander who reviews it. And those are for soldiers and service members who have less than 6 years of service, right?
That's correct.
Now, if you have more than 6 years of service, or the military is trying to give you an other than honorable discharge, are you entitled to a board?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And so that board is comprised of what? People who are senior to you in rank?
That's correct.
And you present a case kind of like a mini trial to this board?
Very similar to a mini trial. And then you would have, you would present evidence why you should be discharged, or why you shouldn't maybe face the discharge. Maybe you should be discharged, but you're not facing the discharge that you're there requesting.
Right.
But that's an opportunity for you to present your case. And it's not just you on paper, it's really you. You get to present the you in the room.
So we've talked about, trials or non-judicial punishment, and we've talked about, chapter discharges, which are paper or before a board. Can you also get things like a letter of reprimand?
You can get a letter of reprimand. You actually, you could get a letter of reprimand. You could get an order not to do certain conduct, which at the time you may not think it's I'm not going to continue to go to Susan Q's house anymore, or whatever the order might be. But the violation of that order could get you back into additional trouble.
Right. And so if somebody is issued a general officer letter of reprimand, do they have the right to respond to that?
They do.
And what are some of the things that you would include in response to a general officer memorandum of reprimand?
Almost in any opportunity that I have where it's just on paper, I want to tell my story. I want to tell what I did in the military. I want the person in the room to know I'm there, that I'm speaking through the paper. And then if I can give an explanation, I'll try to give an explanation on why or why not the conduct occurred. Sounds like your written response wants to humanize. You want to make that person on paper appear real. Is that correct? Yeah, that is correct. You will miss an opportunity if you do not if you're not showing that you're in the room. Even though it's on paper, you're not in the room at the time of that review. All right.
We are the Law Office of LOWMH. We are your warrior advocates. You defend the nation, we defend you.